G'day people, welcome back to the lab. Do you have a Samsung TV remote that does not work? We're going to go through the most common faults today that kill this remote, and we're going to repair it. From resetting the remote, faulty buttons and liquid damage, and the best part is you can do this at home as well. So let's get started. The first thing you can do, and the easiest step, is to reset your remote control, and that's pretty easy. All you have to do is remove the batteries, get the screwdriver in, chuck the old batteries out, hit the power button a couple of times, and that discharges a little capacitor, which is like a little battery inside the remote control, and that makes sure that the main chip inside the remote is powered down. And then all you have to do is get a new set of batteries, pop them in the back of the remote control, and see if your remote actually works. The next common issue is one of the buttons doesn't work on this remote. It could be like the channel up, channel down, or the volume button due to overuse. And there's a lot of videos out there that say, oh look, just massage every button and just push it in multiple times, or give the remote a bit of a whack and things of that nature. And look, that may work in the short term, but the reason why your remote doesn't work is because there's crud and rubbish on the inside of it. We fix that by giving it an isopropyl alcohol washout. So what we're going to do is we're going to cover the buttons not working, and we're also going to cover liquid damage as well. But before we move on to that, we better give it some genuine liquid damage first. So we'll move on to that right now. We'll put the remote in my wife's bakeware, she won't mind, and we'll pour some water over the top. Just push a few buttons in, plenty of water in there. And we'll make sure that water gets well inside the remote, and we'll let that sit for a couple of hours. I think we've got enough water inside the remote now. Our remote is nice and wet. Normally I would throw cola on the remote, but that makes the remote too sticky to work with and ends up everywhere. But water will demonstrate the liquid damage process. So what we do now is we open up the remote and we start the washout process with isopropyl alcohol. We're going to open this remote with a small flat screwdriver. We're just going to jam it in here next to the program up and down button. Just create a little bit of a gap, and then we're going to get another small flat screwdriver and shove it in next to the 6 button and just gently jimmy upwards. And we're just going to work our way around the case, gently lifting and prying as we go. It's going to go around the top, crack that open. Keep on working your way down. We better pop our batteries out. Can't forget those. There we go. And we've opened it up. We'll break away some of these components. Get a little screwdriver. Just pop him in the bottom. Just pop the bottom up. And we have a little keypad here. We'll break that away. We also have our little buttons as well. If we have a look at the buttons through the microscope, we can see the volume and channel up, channel down. we can see on the backs of these buttons there's a little bit of liquid damage, and even though we bombarded this remote with water, this liquid seems to be brown, so it could be cola. And these little things here are little carbon contacts. So what happens is these carbon contacts actually touch the printed circuit board in this area here, and you can even see a little bit of the cola or liquid around this part of the board. Basically, these carbon contacts make connections with the pads and create a small short circuit, and that's what tells the remote that you've hit the channel up or channel down or volume or whatever the switch is. So it's most important that these contacts are pretty much clean. So we'll push on with cleaning this printed circuit board and these little contacts behind the remote. My wife's favorite bakeware dish is back, and what we're going to do first is we're going to clean the back of this board and just get rid of all the gunk around the contacts. So we just pop it in and we pour in some isopropyl alcohol. This is 99%. Just pour enough in there to cover the board. There is a product called rubbing alcohol, but this is only like 60% or 70% isopropyl alcohol. So yeah, if you use this stuff, it won't clean as well, but your remote will smell like flowers. I prefer the isopropyl 99% alcohol. It does the job properly. And we get a toothbrush, a basic simple toothbrush, and then we give these pads a bit of a scrub. Be aware that this is isopropyl alcohol. It's flammable. Use it in a well ventilated area. Do not expose it to any sort of ignition source such as sparks or flame or anything like that. A little bit of common sense. And probably a good idea to use gloves with this as well. It's probably a little bit better for your skin. Just give it a bit of a scrub. Get all the gunk off. Do the back side. There's nothing much here. And just concentrate around the areas where there's a little bit of spill. We'll take it out, let it drain. Give it a quick wipe down with some tissues. Looks like new, and we'll put that aside to dry right now. Next item is a rubber membrane for our switches. This is top side, this is the back side, and we're going to clean all these little contacts here. So again, into the isopropyl alcohol. As usual, give it a bit of a scrub down, concentrating on those dirty areas. Light brushing. Work across the whole remote. Displace any dirt and crud. You may want to do the top side. Get rid of any surface rubbish. Again, as I said before, use gloves, don't do what I'm doing. Okay, nice light brushing, and let that dry. We'll get a tissue, just give it a quick wipe down. Wipe across all those little carbon contacts at the back. And we'll put that aside to dry. The back of the keypad, the backing, so this will just get a quick rinse off. The other side quickly. Get the excess isopropyl alcohol off. Give it a quick wipe down. Lovely and clean. We put that aside to dry. Then we've got the front plastic. It's a bit grotty, so we'll put that in. Get in all the nooks and crannies. Give the top a bit of a brush down. Dry it off. Now we have the back. And again, just in the isopropyl. Give it a bit of a light scrub. This is more of a washout. Concentrate around the battery contacts. Make sure they're clean. The great thing about isopropyl alcohol, we use it because it gets rid of the gunk and it absorbs all the water. Final bit, we put that aside to dry as well. If you have more stubborn stains around the front of your remote, the plastic bits, get your favorite household cleaner or multi-purpose cleaner, bit of a light spray, and just clean up those more difficult areas around the remote, on the face, on the plastic. The same can go for here as well. Bit of a light spray and just gently clean the face of the remote. Don't snap this plastic bit, don't apply too much pressure, and just give it a bit of a gentle wipe down. You can get rid of all sorts of dirt. Also, if you have some tough stains on your printed circuit board, you may have to put it back in the isopropyl alcohol and give it a bit more of a scrub just to clean up any of those tough stains. Now, if you have a faulty button on your keypad, it could be volume up or down or channel up and down, or any of the other buttons, and this could be due to wear and tear and overuse of your remote, those can be easily fixed up. All you have to do is find the corresponding contacts on the printed circuit board. So let's say it's a volume up and down, it will pertain to these contacts over here on the far left. So what we'll do is we'll have a look at that under the microscope to see how you can repair those little pads. So let's say that it was these pads here that were playing up. All you'd have to do is get your lead pencil and apply some graphite to the tracks here. And that just gives them a little bit more conductivity, just to make sure they kind of work properly. Some of these tracks could be fade away, and this will correct any issues you have there, and hopefully fix the button that's playing up on your remote. Now it's time to put everything back together again. So all we have to do is get our little front here and pop our buttons back, get them all aligned up, and then we get our little rubber backing, or our little plastic backing, and we put that back down. Get that in. We next get our printed circuit board, pop the LED in first, and then push down, get that all locked in. And now we get our little back and apply that, give it a bit of a squeeze, work it along all edges, get it pushed together, put our batteries in the back, put some new ones in, and your remote's all done. Hopefully this has fixed your problem, and it's better to fix something rather than throw it away. If you are still having problems, you may have to buy a replacement remote from eBay. Just type in Samsung remote and the appropriate model number at the bottom. If you are still interested in repairing other stuff yourself, check out the rest of our channel. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe. Other than that, we will see you next time in the lab.